Hello, good evening, everyone. It's wonderful to have you all here today. Before we start our session with our esteemed speaker, I wanted to quickly introduce myself. My name is Afreen Gauhar, and I represent the Student Placement Council, and I will be moderating today's session. So, welcome once again for joining us for Bridging Horizons from IIT Madras to UC San Diego, a tale of academic ascent. Today, we have a very special guest with us, Mr. Param Choria, a BA student who has recently secured admission at UC San Diego for MS in Electrical and Computer Engineering with a focus in machine learning and data science. Param sir has studied from Pune University, and as I've already mentioned, he's also a BA student. Plus, Param sir has also done some research internships, including one at LNT. So today Param sir will share his journey from Pune to San Diego, and we'll have him talking about his academic achievements, the challenges that he has faced, and how he has grown along the way. But before getting started, let me just inform you something that we'll be having the Q&A session at the end. So keep your questions posted in the Q&A section. Now, Param sir, the virtual floor is all yours. Thank you for coming.
Hi, good evening all. I'll just share the presentation. Yeah. Is it visible?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Hi everyone. I'm Param. I'm currently a master student at UCSD. Already almost done with my first year here, and it has been a great experience. And looking forward to share whatever information I can with you all and my experiences here. So I just made this small PPT I could come up with since I did not get a lot of time, but yeah, so over the head with whatever information I could collect, I have just tried to compile it. But feel free to like come up with any questions that are not addressed directly through the PPT, and I'll try my best to cover that as well. So yeah, so this is a brief of who I am. Just a second, sorry. Yeah. So Uh, as I mentioned, current grad student here. I have been so the good part about my degree is although it is in EC, the track is machine learning and data science, and it caters all my interest in ML and data science. That's a very good part here. And the photo on the right is at the Geisel library here. Uh, yeah, and then so these are the main points I'm thinking of covering as far as I could go through. Uh, so what are the main benefits of studying here, which I considered before coming? So almost like most top universities in the world rankings are based in the US. This is mainly due to the research focus and a lot of high output research coming through from here. They have a lot of funding and stuff, and yeah, there are a few reasons that make them really good in the world. Uh, the second thing is like when you come here, even though if you have no research experience and you're even a bit interested in it, you can hop into research and they have like lot of resources here. I don't want to sound hypocrite, but they have a lot more resources than India when it comes to research here. Like each professor has their own labs, they have multiple projects happening around. So you'll never lack the motivation and resources to do research. Career opportunity is one of the other important aspect I think that matters here because if you whenever you get into industry, You're kind of directly working in the like main offices or head offices of the this thing, the company. So the career growth expected is very high as compared to secondary markets for these. And then lastly, the cultural experiences that everyone gets here. Because here, like everybody comes from very different backgrounds. Uh, like unlike India, where you'll have most amount of people from a certain region. So this gives you exposure to a lot of different cultures together, and you learn a lot of things apart from education directly. So how do you come here? So the pretty straightforward idea is to first of all shortlist universities based on what subject areas you like, which university provides it better, what are their requirements, how do you fit into that. Uh, so pull out past admits, what were their profiles like, what is your profile like, which one fits better, create a list of universities. And then it's a process where you cannot apply to all universities because each university has their own application fee. So you have to be very careful on selecting and deciding how much will you be spending and a lot of stuff like that. Then the second basic requirement is they ask for GRE, GMAT if it is business so subjects, and TOEFL or IELTS. So I personally gave GRE and TOEFL. Uh, so that was my thing. And they usually have this minimum criteria. Each university has a minimum criteria where they look for at least certain amount of marks in the TOEFL. For GRE, it is great to have as high as possible. And then yeah, so this point, like where you when you give these exams, if you have not already, they will ask you to submit like for three universities, which is free in your exams. So be very careful so that you don't have to spend extra. And then SOP is like the most important thing, is what I feel, because it is like you trying to sell yourself to the university because they're not going to call you directly or look for you. So this paper is basically your story of why do you want to get in a particular university. So that really matters. And then the last is like getting letter of recommendations. Usually, if you're working, manager can provide. But for academic, I would suggest like who the professor you have done your work under. That helps a lot. And then usually there is one like uh, it is not that impactful, but like it is a hidden thing that if a professor has a higher H index, it kind of helps. H index is, if you don't know, it is basically a research output ratio for how much research they have put out and how many citations a professor has received for their research. The photo on the right is at the Scripps Pier at UC San Diego. It's like a private beach the university has. Uh, it's a thing. Then these are some other basic modalities of the applications, like apply as soon as possible because the early you are in, the higher the chances of getting out. Then there are certain universities that provide application fee waiver. As far as I remember, there was ASU and NYU that provide this. And then know your finances, like how much are you going to do from loans, personal expenses, and stuff. That is very much required at the start. And yeah, once you finalize your university, go for the visa. I think that's all as a process. So my experiences as an international student here, uh, I was amazed by how huge campuses here are. I have still not explored the complete campus I live in, although it has already been almost 8 to 9 months me being here. Uh, then you as a person have to kind of figure out a lot of things personally, like housing, insurance, banking. If you have never done this before, it is a lot of things to sort out as soon as you're here, and sometimes it's overwhelming, sometimes it is not. Uh, but it is an experience that builds us, and like gives us the confidence of doing or handling anything that comes out in future. So I feel one of my most important experience here has been like, even if you apart from like academic learning, like when you are here, you transform into a very different person considering all the aspects of what you do, and uh, you live by yourself, so you'll be cooking, washing, everything. So that gives you a very overall aspect of life where you will learn to manage time and pressure and stuff. So that's a great thing. I would say initially I was very homesick here. I sometimes still am. So it's a thing. Some people might feel, some might not. Uh, yeah, so adjusting to the culture here is not very hard. You'll find a lot of Indians here if you're uh, very into yourself. So if you want to be with Indians, you'll always have a lot of Indians here. But there are a lot of other people, and if you are open to adjusting, it's very easy because US kind of is a land of immigrants, and everybody here comes from a different culture. But a fun fact about UCSD, it is also called as UC socially dead. So because people are always into their academics and hardly ever socialize. Uh, but yeah, that is a thing here. Mm, so, as career opportunities on student visas, you get to work on OPTs and CPT, which is optional training program and curricular practical training or something like that. Um, So one is for internship and the later is for doing job once you have completed your degree here on your student visa. And then so there is one very different thing here in US. They do not have this thing, anything like industry support or companies coming in or opportunities being dropped in a university. So it is going to be you who will be applying through your different portals like LinkedIn, or finding people who you might know, and a lot of those aspects. So you have to be very keen on networking with people, talking around, knowing different people, asking for referrals and stuff. So this is one thing that I have learned. And like for the past couple years, the market hasn't been as great as it used to be here. So it has become even more important to have like good networking before you go into the market. So yeah, as I mentioned, homesickness was one of the challenges I faced in the starting, but now it's once you get adjusted, it's pretty fine. Time management is a very important thing because you have to manage your academics. You want to live a life you are here for, and all the other aspects of being here. Um, and then, as I mentioned, cultural difference. We have to be open-minded and respectful to other cultures so that it's pretty easy to blend in. This is something UCSD kind of helps, despite their tag of socially dead. There are a lot of events that happen, and a lot of different people you'll find, you'll meet, you'll become friends with which is a great thing. I think it will be a part where all universities have some kind of similar thing. Uh, the photo on the right, actually, it is called the Fallen Star here. It's right on my ECE building. And the idea of that is it is like a international student's life being picked up from their country and just dropped in UCSD, and it has fallen somewhere, tilted on a building. Uh, so that's the story that it represents. And then some things to UCSD, we get free weekly food. UCSD has a huge cohort, so especially for the undergrad students that come here, they're in huge numbers. So if you try to like do proper networking and stuff, you will have a lot of connections, unlike some other universities. San Diego weather is great. Despite it has been gloomy for the last month, but this month is supposed to be gloomy. Otherwise, it is pretty sunny and pretty nice weather. You just have to carry one jacket, unlike the other rest of US. Uh, it is hard to get TAs and RAs here because of the number of students. Everybody's applying. It's very hard. It's like a lottery system. But it is, I would say, not easy, but if you're looking out for like research positions, there are GSR positions. Usually students work for like a couple months, and then eventually the professor agrees to fund them, and that is how it works. Uh, so that is a thing. So there's one more thing I wanted to uh, come up with uh, regarding UCSD. So it is a quarter-based system here. So it is like 10 to 12 weeks each quarter, unlike semester systems in other universities. So UCSD starts pretty late in September. So it gives you a lot of time to spend in India with your family before coming here. And then the summer is long. But the counterpart of it is that you have to be pretty fast on once the quarter starts, because you'll feel like it has just started and it will be almost half the quarter gone. So that is going to be a real challenge if you're not used to pass like a very fast paced education kind of thing. Uh, Apart from that, UCSD is pretty famous here in terms of rankings, and especially if someone is looking for anything related to biotech, they have a great research output from here. They have a lot of funding in biotech, like unlike some other departments. But that is one other aspect. Yeah, and then if I might have missed anything that you're looking for. The photo on the right is of the Geisel Library. It looks like a spaceship. Right.
Afrin, you are on mute.
Okay, sir. So let us go with some. That was a nice presentation. We got to know so much about the campus. It
Mm-hmm.
was beautiful. And so we have few questions here. So the first
Mm-hmm.
question is, what was your strategy for writing an effective statement of purpose?
So, when I was writing SOP, there were few. So my first step was to just write down every kind of thing that guides me towards masters. So it was not structured at all. It was very raw draft, and so I just wrote down what I did in my 4 years of my undergrad. It should not be like when I was a kid and stuff. It should be like of the recent past. What motivates you to join like a master's program, why that specific program, how it aligns with your interests, uh, how is it adding value to you as a person, and then you have to be very genuine in your SOPs, like be frank with them what you did, what projects like are, are motivating you to join as a master student, or even if you're uh, like if you have not done anything in your masters, I would suggest like join a lab or do some sorry, not in your undergrad, join a lab or some kind of research work, so that you can talk about something in your recipe which would give some amount of weightage to your this thing SOP. And once you have like this raw draft, try to read out a lot of I would not suggest to like literally copy the formats of different SOPs available online, but because it has to be about you and it is your story. So I would suggest like go through all these different SOPs available. and then understand how people have kind of structured it. It should ideally be like a flow. It should look like a flow, and then it should not be like okay, I'm bored. It should be like okay, I'm interested to know more about this person. So that should be the idea.
Should be
Be
basically,
grammatical. Yeah, go
so
ahead.
basically like a storytelling.
Yeah, it should be like a personal story, but it should always be interesting, and be very careful about like the structuring of your sentences and spellings. You can use Grammarly Premium. It helped me a lot in structuring the sentences and stuff. Uh, that is one thing. Yeah, definitely, I specify premium here because the free version does not cover everything, which I realized after using the premium section. So that was a really good help in terms of writing SOP. And then what one other thing I did was every time I wrote my SOP, I had a few seniors who I had known for a long while. I would share it with them, and who are already here. So I would share it with them and ask for their inputs. And that's because when we as a first person write something, we feel everything is right, but we should try to understand a third person perspective on it. So this helps a lot in some there will always be some things that you'll get from a third person perspective in that, and that will help you like make it even better. And it takes a long time. Don't rush into writing SOP like you have to do it in a two days frame or something. No, you should take usually 2 to 3 months, refine it, make it proper, make it customized for each university. Like it should not be like one SOP on every university. At least have like two versions of it, three versions of it, and then modify like the last sections where you're targeting specific university information and stuff. So that will give universities a personalized touch of you being very genuinely interested in them.
Okay, sir, thank you. That was actually very nicely explained. So, few things that you have to, you could take help from your seniors. This was one. The other was that make it very interesting. So, sir, then we have the next question. That's about
Mhm.
the living, the cost of living. So, since
Mhm.
international studies seems to be pretty expensive, so the question is, how do you manage your finances for staying and studying in the United States?
So, me personally took a loan from India for my tuition and stuff, and I do research here in a lab, so I kind of get like basic stipend, so that covers my this thing housing rent. Tuition fees is a huge thing here. If you get like a position like TA, like a teaching assistant or GSR, it might partially or fully cover your tuition for that particular thing. Now talking specifically at UCSD, if you get a TA position, they only cover partial tuition. And if you get like a GSR position, they will usually cover the full tuition here. So these are some opportunities you should look out for. Secondly, you should ideally be more worried about your first year until your summer year. You should have those finances sorted, so that you don't like you're not hanging around into something unexpected. So after that, in summer, as you get internship, you eventually get funds to at least fund 1 quarter ahead. So that way you're kind of break even, merely living your life here on your expenses. And so the other thing about this is like there are some other expenses like food and other complementary expenses that come along. So one has to be pretty particular in choosing what they spend money on because it's like it changes subjectively depending on how much a person spends on different stuff. Mostly like specifically at UCSD they have a pantry kind of thing where they give out free like food materials like raw vegetables and canned food weekly. So you're kind of almost covered for your uh, weekly food expenses here, unless you want to spend money outside. So that is the thing. So you you have to be very smart in analyzing your expenses and allotting funds to that. But mainly when it comes to tuition, I would suggest taking a loan if even though if you have personal money, because I think it also helps in this thing the tedious deductions that happen when you send money from India to US. So that is a good this thing to save some tax on that.
Okay, thank you for answering that, sir. So basically, finance management is also important here. That is also playing a major role.
Mhm.
And sir, the third question that we have is recommendations are very important for higher education. So whom and how did you approach them for recommendations?
So, so in my undergrad, I did a few projects under different professors, and so that was the thing, as I mentioned earlier, because recommendations should be personal. It should not be like a generic recommendation. It should be like, how does that professor know you? How deeply do they know you? What project you have done under them, and how it has uh, impacted the surroundings around you, and like uh, yeah, it should be more of all these points. So it is usually recommended to have these letters from people you know really well. And then, as I mentioned, the secondary point would be looking out for H index and stuff of the professors. But the first, the most important thing should be how well they know you, because that is where it is going to depend a lot on.
Okay. Okay, sir. So next question we have is how to apply for a bioinformatics related program if we are doing BS in data science.
So, the thing about it is you have to find a way to relate your data science degree and your bioinformatics stuff, because and this will be done in your SOP. So you have to kind of tell them why is this connected and how is this bridging of the two degrees going to help you. So maybe you can talk about using data in like bioinformatics would help me. For example, if you're working on something that is protein generation and stuff, so you might say that I will be using data science and proteins and ligands to kind of maybe do something like coming out on how effective it is and stuff. So you kind of have to find a pathway to relate the two degrees that you're trying to work on. And yeah, if that sounds interesting, it's pretty much enough to explain your transition in degrees.
Okay. Okay, sir. So another question we have by Vishwaraj. He's asking that will it be easier to get into universities if someone has two or more published paper in reputed journals during the UG course duration?
Uh, yeah, so if you have published research, it gives you an upper hand in applications, because a lot of universities here are research focused, and if you already have good publications, they will definitely like give it like a higher weightage in this thing. Uh, so yeah, in short, yeah, it really helps a lot if you have publications already. But it's not like if you don't have, you have to give up. It's not like that. It is a overall profile review, but yeah, the again that gives you an upper hand.
Okay, Vishwaraj. So hope that answers your question. So, sir, now the next question is about extracurricular activities. So, what extracurricular activities did you highlight in your application?
In my application. Uh, I just mentioned what I do apart from my studies, like I play a musical instrument, or I like to play certain sports, but that is not very important. Like uh it is a small part of your SOP, maybe one sentence or something like that. but the main aspect, it is not at all the main aspect. I think uh, that matters a lot. Uh, Different people might have a different view on this part because at the end of the day in SOP it is like 200 uh, words or something like that, uh, or like 1.5 page of your A4 size. So you have to kind of cramp up a lot of information in there. So this is like the last part of something if you have some space left and you want to uh, add to it. So you can kind of mention it, but it does not matter a lot.
Okay, sir. Next question is, what are some of the biggest challenges that you have faced when you've arrived in the US? Like you have first arrived in
Mm-hmm.
US.
So, on my arrival day, so I was still in the phase of transitioning from coming from India to here. It's a very mixed journey where you're excited, but still, uh, you're coming out of your comfort zone, and you have a very mixed feeling, kind of thing. So it is harder to adjust. And then, my experience here was immigration was very different. Secondly, if you come in, everything is different here. You feel you're like set alone and nobody like everything is moving at its own pace and you're at your own pace. So a lot of things feel very different when you get into your house. It's going to be a new place for you, at least for a while. So you try to like get like set in that, and then you want to like the first thing I did was call back home after reaching. So that is one thing. And then yeah, it's a very different feeling when, and especially if you have not traveled outside India ever before, it is going to be a great
Yeah,
experience.
yeah, yes, sir. Actually, in the beginning, you feel a little elated, but later on, it takes time to adjust anywhere, be it
Hmm.
international or in India, some other culturally diverse places.
Yeah, that is a very
Mhm.
unique thing about.
Yeah. So, next question we have, what is the structure of the MS program at UC San Diego, particularly in machine learning and data science?
So at UCSD, there are two different programs here. So especially which I am in at the machine learning and data science program, which comes under the EC department. It is structured like overall throughout UCSD, it is going to be quarter system. So you will have like fall quarter, winter quarter, spring quarter, then summer, then again fall, winter, spring up. So that's the top view of it. And then each quarter, you kind of have to take at least 12 credits, which is kind of equivalent to three subjects. So you have to take those to maintain your student status. Uh, that is one thing. And then under MLDS, it is a very math heavy machine learning course, which ideally it should be because machine learning kind of is math at the core. Uh, and then there is one other degree that happens here, which is under the data science department, which is called Masters of Science in Data Science. As what I have heard, it is very like it is quite chill than what our course is because it is a pretty new department here. It's been like a couple years for the department. So yeah, so these are the two sections, and then you have to come in particularly in my degree, you have to complete like three core subjects, and then you have different buckets you can choose certain subjects from, and then you can choose any subject from any department that you like, uh, considering the weight listing and stuff. So yeah, that is the
So, what
overall
would
structure.
be like the faculty support or the mentorship, those supports there in San Diego?
So the thing here is uh, the way teaching is done here is very different than way it is done back in India. So here professors usually would just teach you in classes and leave. Uh, the doubt sessions and stuff are So each professor will obviously have their doubt clearance sessions, but it will mostly be by the TAs of the subject. So those will be the ones who will be guiding you through the subject, like understanding whatever concepts you did not understand in the class or stuff. Apart from that, you can approach professors anytime you want, like through emails or after class and stuff. That is a thing, but yeah, this is kind of a bit different from what happens in India. And then usually specifically at UCSD, a lot of subjects will be made available through recordings. So each class is being recorded, and if the professor wants to, in that case, they will share the complete class recording. So you can like anytime you are preparing for your exams and stuff, you can go back and watch the videos. They all will provide you notes and stuff. And yeah, that's the highlight.
Okay. Sir, anything you wish that you had known before starting your journey from IIT Madras to UC San Diego?
Uh, well, I wish I would have known. Uh, Maybe like it's hard to manage time zones. I thought it would be pretty easy, but it is not. It's like you kind of are living half of your life still in India because everybody you know is there, and you still have to work in the time zone you live in. Talking specifically about me, I live on the West Coast, so it's like 12 hours, 12.5 hours difference. So, so as you guys are ready to sleep, it's like 6:30 in the morning here. So that is always going to be a thing when you are connecting with everybody back in India. And then you also have to like manage your day here. This is something I did not take very seriously, but is a very important aspect. Yeah.
Okay, sir. And are there any on-campus job opportunities for international students?
There are. So all universities, specifically if I talk about UCSD, there are a lot like, but you have to go and find things out. So there is a handshake portal that they use here where quite a few shops and stuff will put out their hiring. But it will mostly be it has to be more of personal. Like you have to go and ask them, keep asking them that if you have. And one good thing about San Diego is pretty expensive, to be honest. And UCSD is in La Jolla. La Jolla is probably one of the costliest zip codes in US. So you kind of have to manage your expenses pretty smartly. So one good thing here is like San Diego has a minimum base pay of 16.8 now. So, so you kind of eventually, if you even if you work for like 10 to 12 hours and you're sharing a room here, so you'll pretty much cover your rent expenses at least. So that is one thing. And then there are other opportunities like RAs and GSRs, as I mentioned.
Okay. Sir, and if we compare the workload, like compared to
Mhm.
the IIT Madras BS degree and there in UC, like what's the difference?
So, one main thing is going to be it's not there are certain courses here that are very heavy. If talking specifically about MLDS program I am in, there is a course, for example, which is called linear algebra. It is probably one of the toughest course at UCSD that is going to put a very great load on you. So there are certain subjects that are very good, certain subjects that are very light. You should try and figure out to find a balance of those so that you are not like worked up. Secondly, comparing to IIT Madras, it's like when you're doing the courses there, you don't have to manage other stuffs like cooking and washing and everything else. So you don't have those loads on your mind. When you're here, you have to kind of figure out how are you going to manage everything. You cannot skip food. So that kind of gives that a load. But if you're taking like but say suppose you're done with your heavy courses and all you are left with light courses, then it's going to be very easy, like even easier than IIT Madras.
Okay, okay. Okay, sir. And did you have any misconceptions like before you arrived USA?
Hmm?
Were there some misconceptions that you had about studying
About
at
you?
US?
Uh, to be honest, not anything specific. Um, yeah, don't take it lightly, because you'll be adjusting to a very different way of studying. So to don't take it for granted is one thing. I kind of did not have any specific misconceptions in those terms. Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. Okay, so what personal qualities do you think helped you succeed in getting admitted to UC San Diego?
Uh, so I did mention my research work which I was doing back in India and how it related to the degree. And then secondly, I think it was more about all those qualities about time management and focusing on research and academics. So I think yeah, that probably were the main qualities maybe. Yeah.
Okay. Um, Sir, and do you have any advices for our students at IIT
Mhm.
Madras? Like if they are considering studying abroad, like what would you advise them?
Um, yeah, it will be like specifically talking about some advice. So yeah, definitely apply only for top universities. Don't apply for like lower ranked universities because you already are in a very good university in India and you don't want to go below par. That is one advice. And yeah, also one specific thing I would like to mention is like when you're shortlisting universities, do consider different aspects which are not directly linked, but something like how the weather at the place is, or like how much are the other expenses at that place, how much is the rent usually around that, which are like tertiary things, but you should always keep that in mind before you finalize a university.
Okay, sir, and w- is there some advices which you have received from your mentors or your professor,
Mhm.
and those are maybe the best of the advices that you have received from them? Would you like to share something like that?
Uh, so while I'm working here, uh, it's a pretty interesting question. I have not really thought about what would be the most important this thing, but it's usually like you have to be your own here. Like the best part here specifically is like you can say if you can't do something, you can just say no on their face and they won't be bothered about it. You just have to ask and you have to be yourself is the thing, and they take a lot of different things very seriously here. So just be yourself, do what interests you. Just don't be forced into something because everybody else is doing
Yes,
something.
yes, that is very important. And sir, if somebody has already done masters in India,
Hmm. Hmm.
like are they eligible to do masters in US as well?
Yes, they are. In most cases, in I would say like 99% cases, all universities still would be happy to take them as master students. Some universities might mention that they do not accept second master students or something like that. So that is something you will have to check on their websites specifically. But most universities will still take you. Only thing you have to be careful about is why again a master's should be a explanation that you have to be prepared about, maybe in your SOP, and they might also ask you in your visa interviews later in the stage. So you have to kind of have a clear view. Why are you wanting to do masters again. Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes up for it.
So Ishant, this was an answer to your question. So please ponder on the questions that sir has now asked you. Okay, why would you want to do? Okay, sir. Now there's a personal question on homesickness. How do you handle homesickness and staying connected with family and friends back in India?
So,
Timing must be a constraint for sure.
so definitely it is a constraint, but uh, to avoid homesickness, if you like, I did not think I will have that, but I eventually had it, and it is a phase. But then you just hang out with friends here, be with people, don't be alone, and that will eventually not be a issue. But yeah, it is like there will be times when you're alone and it's going to kick in, but you kind of have to keep yourself busy in some work or being with friends, hanging out, going around, exploring city. Everything of these sorts will help you mitigate that. And to be connected now, for our generations, it is pretty easy to be connected with everyone back home because we have internet and we can do video calls and stuff. So that won't be a big deal. Yeah, that I think that's the whole idea of mitigating the homesickness and stuff.
I have one question.
Hmm.
It is that what courses or subject have you find most interesting in your academic journey? And as you are pursuing a course which is aligned with ours, like the BS degree as well, what
Hmm.
is the correlation between both?
So for me, BS degree provided me a very great foundation and like an overview of what machine learning and data science world looks like. So that was kind of my opening into coming into core, deeper understanding of ML. So after coming here, I feel I have a few courses. So most of my courses in the first quarter were based off math. So that's a very interesting part where you do core statistics like Markov chains and stuff. So that is one thing. And then secondly, I have a few courses here, uh, which are like visual learning and deep generative networks. And then there is something called a statistical NLP I plan to take. So there are very interesting courses here that are being taught by very good professors. So yeah, even I mentioned one of the courses called linear algebra, which is pretty hard, right? So this one is taught by a professor from IIT Kharagpur. I mean, she studied her undergrad in IIT Kharagpur, and she's here teaching this subject. And she's like a proper Indian professor who'll make your life very interesting when it comes to that subject. So there are even I say like the subject was very hard, but was pretty interesting the way she taught it. So yeah, these kind of subjects interest have been very interesting for me until now.
Okay, sir. So, sir, actually, the session was very interesting. You have
Hmm.
uh, enlightened us with a lot of things. So, thank you so much, sir, for your inspiring story and sharing it with us. And it was truly enlightening to hear about your journey and the opportunities that studying abroad has opened up. In fact, maybe our students here present here would also be now more enthusiastic about it. The networking thing that you talked about was very important. The time management, now also the finance management. So and the tilted building story was also very fascinating. So,
Yeah.
so the next thing would be to our audiences present here. Thank you for your active participation and all the insightful questions. Uh, if you have any further queries, Param sir is there. You could contact him on LinkedIn or Insta. He has his IDs shared with you here. So do not
Yeah, feel
hesitate to
free to
reach.
go.
Yeah, yes, sir. So do not hesitate to reach him out. So again, I extend my gratitude for joining today. Thank you so much, sir, for sparing your time and
Thanks
sharing
for
all
having
the
me.
knowledge. Yes, sir. It was really interesting.
Thank
So,
you.
Thank you. Good night, everybody.